going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Are you busy at home or at the office and can't get away for your favorite meal? Simply pick up the phone and call Wright's Delivery Service. Locally owned, locally operated, fast, friendly, and reliable. Phone 256-762-3031 or visit WDSordering.com.
This is Jason at Volco Auto Supply in Lawrenceburg. For over 90 years, Volco has been a family-owned company. We're proud of our past and excited about our future. We're open to the public for wholesale and retail trade. We carry product lines such as Milwaukee Tools, Lucas Oil, and Malco products. We carry all major brands of lubricants like Shell Rotella, Haviland, Castrol GTX, Mystic, Motorcraft, Valvoline, Kendall, and Mobil. We here at Volco offer a complete line of car detailing supplies, shop supplies, tire repair products, and lawnmower supplies. Check us out online at VolcoAutosupply.com or at 416 Buffalo Road here in Lawrenceburg.
Truett's Garage Doors in Leoma, Tennessee is your one-stop for new garage door installations for all commercial and residential buildings, plus they offer full service on all existing doors. Need a new garage door opener? Truett's Garage Doors has you covered. As an AMAR Gold and LiftMaster dealer, Truett's Garage Doors offers the best pricing anywhere in the area. A family-owned and operated business, Truett's Garage Doors has been helping Tennessee and Alabama residents since 1999. Call the pros today at Truett's Garage Doors, 931-201-6464.
From the X Sports Network, this is the Hayden Burks Show.
And welcome everybody back to the Hayden Burks Show as we are here at our brand new studio here at the X Sports Network studio. My name's Hayden Burks, joined alongside Michael Marks for this show. And Michael, it's been a long week so far, a little messy week with all the rain, but hey, had a bunch of great basketball with both Loretta, Summertown, and Lawrence County.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great week of sports all the way
I need to get on
around,
here
and
figure out how
even not just
I'll
in
call
the
you back
local
later
area,
this
but
evening.
wide range. We've had so much
All right,
news in the
thank you for
sports
talking to
world
me.
that I think we got a lot to talk about
All right,
today.
bye.
Absolutely, and I mean, we'll start local here in this opening segment. Obviously, Lawrence County got a big win Tuesday night against Giles County. Both the girls and the boys came away with some wins, and they're going into tonight against Franklin County, another district play game. The Lady Cats, they're 9-8 going into this game, 1-0 in the district, and Franklin County, they jump into this one 5-10 and 0-1 so far to start this off. So obviously that's not your team, but just doing that, and obviously the Lady Cats, they're playing a whole lot better. They had 28 offensive rebounds against Giles County. I believe Giles County only had 26 rebounds in general that game.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, you win the rebounding battle 9 times out of 10. Hey, and you're going to win the ball game. So just the fact that they had more offensive rebounds than Giles County had rebounds just definitely told the story in that game, and it's great for the Lady Cats to start off 1-0 in district play.
Absolutely, and jumping over to the Wildcats as well, they're 14-3. They had a big-time win over Giles County. I believe the final score was 73-44. I have my notes here. I got to find them, though. But obviously, yeah, 73-44, and the story of that night was Alex Bedford, 27 points, and I believe he had 14 rebounds. So obviously he's probably the front runner for the district MVP going into the district so far, Michael.
Yeah, he's a tremendous player. I mean, we saw him against Loretto last Friday, a week ago from today, and he had 19 points in the first half. Now, I believe he finished with 23, 24 points, something like that. But, I mean, this kid has the ability to completely take over games just single-handedly. And the thing is, he doesn't have to because he has such great players around him. You got Logan Boswell, you got Blake Long, TJ Gobble, guys like that. And even some guys off the bench to contribute. So, I mean, Lawrence County, there's no joke. They're a good team. Absolutely.
And, this is from Tuesday night. Alex Bedford with 27, TJ with 13, Blake with 14, Logan with 12, Colton Tucker with 5, and Aiden Stevenson with 2. So all those guys, they got a bunch of guys that can contribute. But the thing is, they only play 7 guys, but those 7 guys, they get to it when it comes to it. But also the Lady Cats, they're a younger team as well. Jumping back to them, 9-8 overall as we mentioned. But hey, J.C. Scott obviously right now, she had 12 points, but I believe she had 18 rebounds, something like that. I've got the notes here. I'm all over, all out of sorts right now. 17 rebounds, so 12 points, 17 rebounds.
I mean, that's crazy.
She's doing everything for them, it seems like. And, they're getting hot at the right time, it seems like, going into district play. They struggle a little bit. They're still trying to find their lineups and everything. They've had a few Lady Cats hurt. I know Sadie Grace Cole, she didn't play the other night. I'm not exactly sure of her stats tonight for the Franklin County game, but the big story for the Lady Cats were, Jay Scott, but obviously the freshman Ryan Hughes, she had 14 points and 9 rebounds for that game.
Yeah, when you're getting a freshman to be able to contribute to like that, it helps a team so much just for the future, because you see what you got now as a freshman and see, you get 3 more years to work with that player, and maybe those stats could double in a game like that, later down the road in a couple of years. But it's great to be able to have a freshman contribute like that for a team as young as Lawrence County is.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of Lawrence County and just all of Lawrence County schools, Michael, they are out of school today, so let's talk about that a little bit. The weather's been kind of all out of whack. As I don't know if you can hear. We can hear it from the rain hitting the roof, but I'm sure the people back at home watching this show, they can't hear it. But obviously, all Lawrence County's out for today. The weather and all that, just kind of, as a player, you played Loretta basketball and all those sports. Just as a player, what's the mentality like whenever you're out of school? I know it's probably going to be, it seems a little different. You're probably kind of a little bit more laid back, chill, and just kind of, for these teams. What do you think it's like for just having to travel like Franklin County would, or just Lawrence County in general?
Yeah, see, me personally, I didn't like being out of school on game days because you slept in later, so it meant you were kind of drowsy, I guess you'd say, getting out of the bed and stuff like that. You were laid back all day. The whole rush of getting up and going to school and having to have a whole school day and then playing a game, I feel like it kind of prepared me better than just laying around the house all day and maybe having a walk through at 3 or 4 o'clock. So I personally wasn't a fan of it, but you kind of have to have a killer mindset, especially going into district play, because it's these are when the games start counting.
Absolutely. Well, Lawrence County, they've already started district play. The boys are 1-0 and the girls are 1-0, and they're playing a good Franklin County team that we're very familiar with. When I was in high school, they were in our district a few years ago, jumped out of district, and now they're back in the district. So a team we're very familiar with. But we'll skip over to the south side and north side of Lawrence County. Michael, it's here. It's that big game. Summertown at Loretta. Lady Eagles start at 5:30 or 6:30. 6. They start at 6, and the guys start at 7:30. So, Michael, I'll let you take over on that one. The Lady Eagles, they start district play, and they're 16-4 overall. They're going to play the Lady Mustangs, and this is their first district game as well. They're 15-1. So, what are you thinking for tonight?
Yeah, way to start off district play with a bang. You got, I would say for girls, probably the projected 1 and 2 seeds in the district going at it. With the Lady Eagles and Lady Mustangs, it's always going to be a good matchup. They've played in some state championships in volleyball and girls basketball. So, you got 2 good teams, 2 good records, 2 good coaches. It's going to be a good one tonight.
Well, I think you watched the show. I know you weren't here, but you watched the show, and Clint was talking about the Summertown, both teams kind of that way. I kind of agree with Clint. I don't think they're going to show much of anything. I think it's just going to be a straight fight, let's play.
Yeah,
type of mindset.
You don't want to give away anything as your first district game, because you got to realize it's still early January. You don't want to give away something that you could use in late February, early March. It is a first district game, and it's a big deal, but I don't think this is when you pull out all the stops yet. This game means a lot, but I think this is kind of when you see which team has, better players and short-term coaching, not necessarily the long-term. How are we going to, we need to bring all this out and try to win this game, because, you'd like to start off 1-0, but, listen, we're going to get a good ball team tonight, and it stinks that one of these teams has to lose.
Absolutely. It's in Loretta's new gym this year. It's a district matchup between these 2 teams. They're more than likely going to see each other in the district tournament championship, probably region championship, and even going forward to maybe possibly even state for all of our teams.
Yeah, I was about to say, like AJ was talking about, you might see them 3 or 4 more times, so you don't want to give everything away the first time you see them. But, man, Lady Eagles, Lady Mustangs, 16-4, 15-1. You got 2 good teams, a ton of good players going at it, and it's going to be a fun game tonight.
In our notes, I wrote down that the Lady Eagles, they're coming off of a loss against a really good Wayne County team, which, in my opinion, that Wayne County team is probably going to win the state Class A championship, in my opinion.
And, the Lady Mustangs come off a close win against a Class A team that I think, could compete with Wayne County and Moore County. But, like Clint said, he came in and was, asked to give a short analysis of Summertown Tuesday night, and he said it was just all bad from the players to the coaches.
The players
the
are bad, the coaches were bad, the refs were bad, and even the broadcasting crew
yeah.
was bad. So.
And I think that Tuesday night was, a game that neither Loretto coaches were proud of either with Moore County. The girls came away with a win, and that's a very good Moore County team. I believe they're 14-4, 14-5, something like that.
Yeah, and plus that they played them in the Loretto Christmas Classic as well.
Listen, Moore County has 5 losses on the year, their girls team. 2 of them are to Loretto, 2 of them are to Summertown, and then that other one is to Upperman, who is probably the best girls team in the state.
They're not a team to mess around with, Moore County. They're a well-coached team as well.
Always, and I think they're not in the same district as Wayne County, I don't believe, and they may not even be in the same region. But if they come in contact, it's going to be a high octane matchup. But we got a pretty good Class 2A match tonight in Loretto.
Absolutely. Well, and we'll jump over to the boys' side. Summertown, they're 16-4 as well, and Loretto, they're 11-5, and these are their first district games as well. And the Eagles, on Tuesday night as well, they lost to Wayne County. And I don't know if it was a matchup thing. I wasn't able to rewatch that game, but Clint and I talked during the break, during the show on Wednesday night. He just said it was a bad matchup for Summertown. He thinks they match up better against Loretto, in his opinion. Of course, I haven't really watched enough of Loretto. I've seen whenever they play Lawrence County. Talented team. Both teams are real talented. The thing is, Loretto, they like to kind of play a little bit more down low. In Summertown, they're a team that ride or die with a three-pointer.
Yeah, and another thing that's kind of been a problem with Loretto, you look at 11-5, you're like, wow, they feel like they should have a much better record than that. They've had a tough schedule, but they haven't been at 100% at all this year. Because you had Case and Bowie, who was down with mono for the first couple of games. You're still working to get him back, and then you get him back, and Mason Tidwell, with the ankle thing is messed up. And he played last Friday, tried to play as much as he could against Lawrence County. Played a little bit Tuesday, and
he was the leading scorer for Lawrence County, or against Lawrence County for Loretto. And then Seymour, did he have 33 the other night?
Yeah, I was about to get to that. Loretto scored 59 points, and Clint Seymour had 33 of them. And talking to some coaches after the game, that was the most that a boys player had scored for Loretto since Coach Tips has been there, and that was 2017, 2018 when he got there. So, it's incredible. But, it was at a point where he hit a couple threes in a row, and it was like, all right, feed the guy. And then he started hitting a couple more, and then eventually he went from like 11 to 33 just like that, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a big win against the Moore County team. I don't know how Moore County boys are. I know how the girls are because I've seen them plenty of times. Talented team. Like you said, they're probably going to be a high contender. They lost to Overman both Summertown games and both Loretto games. So, from the girls' side, I don't know the boys' side as well. I don't have that record.
Their boys were very athletic. They moved the ball very well. And then, they also had a Mr. Football winner, from their quarterback from their football team that was also on the team. Very athletic. They got up and down the court very well. And, for a team that didn't have the best record, they were pretty well disciplined.
Yeah.
They didn't have the best record. They've had a hard schedule. They were very well disciplined. They moved the ball very well. And, Loretto was very undisciplined in that game. They didn't move the ball very well. They, weren't boxing out on rebounding and stuff like that. But that game was positioned between Lawrence County and Summertown, and that was just perfectly set up to be a trap game. I think Loretto's just happy to get to Summertown tonight and see what they can prove.
Absolutely. So, it's going to be a big night here in Lawrence County as the Lady Cats will take on Franklin County Rebelettes. That game will start at 6:30 at Lawrence County, followed by the Wildcats. They will also play the Rebels. And the big matchup, probably the game of the week for everybody in Lawrence County, Loretto takes on Summertown at Loretto. So, tune in for all those games. They all will be here on the Exports Network. So, coming up next, as we come back from break, we're going to have a special guest. It will be Summertown's own UT Southern basketball player, Brady Brown, joining us. We're going to have some questions for him as he's going to jump on here on the Exports Network on the Hayden Burks Show.
Whether you're shopping in Lawrenceburg, Loretto, Summertown, or Mount Pleasant, Teagan's Food Stores has you covered with the best quality food at the best prices. From Cash Saver to Superama and CB Foods, stop by your neighborhood Teagan's Food Store today.
If you want the best clean and wash experience, you need to catch the happy wave at Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Don't settle for streaks, dirt residue, water spots, and weak vacuums that you can get at just any car wash.
How's my background look? Do I need to move to a
At
different
all our
background?
locations, you will be greeted by a smiling attendant who will pre-wash your car front and back to remove any stubborn bugs
got
and
film
dirt
at,
before guiding you through the
3:45
tunnel,
and practice
where your car
after
will
that
be
at
treated to
4:30.
the
I'm trying to
ultimate
make it
spa
slow.
treatment with state-of-the-art equipment and one-of-a-kind wash
Yup.
experience that will give your car a showroom shine.
No.
Afterwards, you can help yourself to our free powerful vacuums, cleaning cloths, and glass and surface
excited to
cleaner
go.
for
I
the
ain't been
perfect
in there.
finishing touch. When it comes to caring for your car, don't settle for
feeling,
any
man.
wash and pay for all the extras. Get the best when you catch the Happy Wave at your local Tidal Wave Auto Spa.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get that atmosphere in a
The
big
Summit
town
of
like that.
Lawrenceburg is the premier senior and assisted living community in the region. The Summit makes it home for you or your loved one with diverse suites that welcome and encourage community, plus gathering spaces, neighborhoods, daily activities, and a wonderful staff that supports you every day.
Hi, I'm Tara Blue. I'm the new director of the Summit, and we would like to invite you and your family to come and tour our facility. We would love to see you here.
For the best at-home care in Lawrence County, the Summit at Home is the right company for you. We have a friendly staff over 25 that is trained, educated, and qualified to help with all your needs within your household. Our non-medical services include transportation, housework, dressing, and companionship. We are also covered by most long-term care providers. For more information, please call 931-762-2310.
Hayden Burks goes the distance for local sports on the X Sports Network.
And welcome back to the X Sports Network here at the Hayden Burks Show. I'm joined by special guest, Summertown's own Brady Brown, as he is currently a player for the UT Southern men's basketball team. And Brady, good to have you join us, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on, man. I'm
Absolutely,
excited to be
bro.
here.
Hey, I just want to talk about your stats a little bit, man. I did a little research about you. I know we've known each other for a long time, dude. 1,000-point club for UT Southern and two-time Mid-South Conference second-team All-Player in high school. I didn't know this. I knew you were part of the 1,000-point club, but whenever I asked you those stats yesterday, dude, 1,325 points from sophomore year to senior year, and 663 of those points came from your senior year.
Yes, sir.
Dude, I didn't realize that.
A big
but-
leap year for me.
Yeah, that was the year. Of course, y'all dominated everybody. It seemed like. I know whenever I was a junior in high school, we played y'all Lawrence County, and I think we were at CA, and y'all just ran. I think it was a 40-point game.
I think actually the last time we played Lawrence County was my sophomore year because we played them at Lawrence County and they beat us. Lawrence County smacked us.
Yeah, well,
I remember they come out. Lance Pope probably hit like 3 or 4 threes from the white line. I mean,
yeah, well, that was Lance's thing. He would always pull up from the volleyball line at the top of the key and just drain it.
yeah. That was the last time we played them. I wish I would have got a chance to play them again my junior or senior year, but the stars didn't align. I really would have liked that chance.
Yeah, I hear you. But hey, obviously, fifth-year senior at UT Southern, and currently we're 15-2 right now. We played, who was it? William Carey. We played them on Tuesday night. Big time win against them. I believe the final score was 90-60 or 71, something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Brady, I've got your stats. You had 10 points that game, and you had 5 rebounds. And obviously, you played 27 minutes. Dew had 33, and you had 27 minutes. So we'll talk about that. You and Dew have been together this is the 5th year now, and obviously you're the super seniors, and we've got a lot of guys this year that are seniors. We're going to be losing a lot, but also that's a good thing because we're veteran-led. So just kind of, what's this year meant to you? I know what it's meant to me, and what's it just meant to you overall?
I think this year, since it's my last year here, it's just all about just, winning. We've got the stats. I've got 1,000 points there, this and that. Made the all-conference teams. At this point, it's just about winning a championship and having some hardware to leave behind. Like you said, me and Dew have been there since 2019, so this is my 5th year. And we've from the time we got there to where it is now, we've turned the program around completely, and just want to leave them with a championship and just leave them on top to where they can just keep improving each year because Duganline's a good coach. He's improved every year, and I think he'll have a great future ahead of him.
Yeah.
And I think he can do a lot of good things for this program.
Absolutely. And just looking at your stats for this year, Brady, you're averaging 12.1 points a game, 7.8 rebounds a game. You're actually fourth in the conference when it comes to rebounds, and then you got 1.1 assists. So just kind of, you've took your stats every year. They've always grown and grown and grown, and just improved every year. And I've seen your work during the summer as well, just kind of working on it. I've seen you in the gym working on your shot every week and just kind of going over all that. And just, I didn't expect this. You're 6'7", you're a big guy, but I remember your sophomore year, having to go up against guys like E.J. Onu, who's obviously playing overseas. He's played in the NBA a little bit, but hey, dude, I've seen you in the weight room getting stronger, and obviously just 7.8 rebounds and fourth in the conference. And I know you want to get ahead of him, but Tad's third in the conference, but obviously you're the dynamic. You and Tad are the dynamic duo when it comes down low.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hate to interrupt you there, Hayden, but Kevin just showed me an email from Lawrence County School Systems Superintendent Michael Atkins that the Lawrence County and Franklin County game has been postponed from tonight, moved to tomorrow night. So, I guess that means everybody gets to head to Loretto to come watch that game. Y'all were talking about being disappointed having to miss that game, so it's moved south. So, Franklin County's not going to travel tonight, so everybody gets to come to Loretto and get to watch a good matchup tonight.
Well, hey, Brady, I guess I'll see you tonight then if you are able to make it. So we'll definitely show up for that one and show support. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. But, hey, just kind of looking at, obviously 15-2 right now, 9-0 in Southern States Athletic Conference. And I know this is my first year in the Southern States. Since I've been here with UT Southern, it's always been the Mid-South. And obviously, you and Do, when y'all were freshmen, y'all played in the Southern States. So just like, what's the difference between, when we talked earlier in the summer about the transition now, just kind of like, what's the difference you've known?
The difference between the Mid-South and the Southern States has always been a really good conference. My freshman year, I think it probably had like 4 nationally ranked teams in it, and I think I might be right. I think the national champion was from Southern States. I think it may have been Loyola. It was either my freshman year or it was my sophomore year.
I believe it was I think sophomore year it was Shawnee State, which was in our conference at that time, and then the year after that it was Loyola.
Yeah, so Mid-South, the Mid-South is, I'm not going to say it's a better conference. It's just it's really physical. And with our team makeup, it benefits us to be in the Southern States a little bit more, to where, I'm not having to guard someone that's 2 inches taller and got 40 pounds on me. Like you said, I try to work out and put on a little bit of weight, but some of those guys are just a lot bigger than me. And it's only so much that me and Tad could do, being undersized. But I would say that the difference is really just like the physicality and of most teams, because there wasn't any team in the Mid-South that you could just run over. Last year we got put out by the 12 seed. So, like, every game in the Mid-South was a dogfight. And not saying that every game in the Southern States hasn't been, but I would say we've definitely fared better in the Southern States so far.
Absolutely. And, talking about being put out, honestly, the last 2 seasons, Brady, when our first year, or my first year here, your sophomore year, we made it to the conference championship, which, in my opinion, I think we all thought that we should have been in the national championship, but that was COVID year. They only allowed 32 teams. The year after that, our first year is UT Southern. We made it to the national championship. I know we didn't finish off the season the way we wanted to. We beat a good Georgetown team at home by 26 that year, and then also we lost to a few other teams, and then lost to Ottawa, Arizona. And just kind of quickly about that, I want to bring this up. I remember that trip, Brady, and some people may not say that it's a different atmosphere playing in over on the West Coast. And I remember we went to did you go to Dick's Sports Good to get a can of oxygen? I remember you getting it.
Yeah, I went to I think it may have been Dick's. It was some local sports store, and just bought a can of oxygen because the atmosphere, the elevation, actually, we were at such a high elevation that the air was so thin that you couldn't breathe. We got there 2 days before our first game, and the very first practice we did 2 down and backs, and I couldn't breathe. And we're in February, so I should be in the best shape of the whole season, and I can't even get up and down the court. The team that we ended up facing was from Arizona, and they ran us up and down. I was talking to some of the players. They said that they're used to this type of elevation, and actually where they played was higher than what we were at that current time, and that was just a huge. I'd never faced any sort of elevation change, haven't played any on the West Coast, and that was a big obstacle for us. But hopefully we don't have to go out and travel this year. Hopefully we can be a host site in the national tournament this year and get some home games.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be really nice to bring a national tournament game to Pulaski, Tennessee, and maybe pack it out.
Yeah, that would be nice. And obviously, we've had a good start to this season so far, 9-0 in the Southern States Conference, and 15-2. We're going to play a good Loyola team tomorrow on Saturday. Just kind of, I'm obviously not going to ask what the game plan is, but just what to expect against this team. I know they're big and they're athletic.
Yeah, I mean they're a big athletic team, but I think the focus isn't necessarily on them. It's just focusing on us to do the right things. Like if we take care of the ball and we play offense how we should and we play defense how we should, we play team defense. You're in the gaps. You're helping rebound, offensive rebound. If we do everything that we should and need to do, I think we should win for sure.
Absolutely.
And the only thing that would give us problems if we fail to do a few of those things and they're playing good, then it'll be a dogfight.
Absolutely. So, well, Brady, I appreciate you joining us. I know you're got a busy day ahead of you. I'm not sure if you got class today, but I ain't going to hold you too much longer just because I know you want to get some shots
class,
up.
Just some workouts and practice.
Yeah, that's how it goes in an athlete at UT Southern. So, Brady, I appreciate you joining us. Coming up next here on the Hayden Burks Show, Michael and I are going to talk about a little NFL news and some big news in the college side. So you want to stick around with that here on the X Sports Network.
The Hidden Garden, located just off the square in downtown Lawrenceburg, is your hometown oasis for massage, aesthetics, full hair and nail services, and body waxing. Gift certificates are available, and be sure to follow them on Facebook for their specials. The Hidden Garden, your peace, your place. 222 Pulaski Street, Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, or phone 931-762-9799.
Tennessee Flight Training. We are training the next generation of pilots. Come and see why Tennessee Flight Training is the best way to learn to fly. Tennessee Flight Training. The skies are calling.
If there ever was such a thing as a company that could do almost anything, well, Tenakee Properties is it. These guys know how to completely transform your existing home into something new, or just do it room by room. Need a new bathroom or kitchen? What about a fresh coat of paint? Even a new floor? Looking for dirt work? Tenakee has you covered. Oh, and you can even rent a dumpster from them too. That's Tenakee Properties. Visit Tenakee.com or phone 931-244-4602.
Hi, my name is Asha. I go to Lawrenceburg Technical College, and I moved here a year ago from California. I wanted to be a cosmetologist and study hair, nails, and makeup. You should come join us at Lawrenceburg Technical College and learn all about cosmetology.
Tired of driving into the city every time you need appliances, furniture, or heck, just about anything? Next time, stay local and come to Swap and Shop Center. We have everything you want, from computers to furniture, major appliances, lawn and garden tools, electronics, you name it. Our #1 goal is to get you the items you need at a price you can afford. We even offer 120 days same as cash financing. We won't be undersold. We specialize in service after the sale. We pick up where everyone else leaves off. Swap and Shop Center, family owned and operated in Lawrenceburg for over 61.
Southern Tennessee Orthopedics welcomes orthopedic surgeon Dr. Paul Thomas. Count on Dr. Paul Thomas, podiatrist Dr. James Barksdale, and nurse practitioner Doug Ead at Southern Tennessee Orthopedics to keep your life in motion. Injuries and foot pain can rob you of the activities you enjoy most. So our team is here, close to home, to address the pain and to get you moving again. Southern Tennessee Orthopedics. From the routine to the unforeseen, you can count on us. To learn more, visit SouthernTennesseeMedicalGroup.com or to schedule an appointment, call 931-762-4400.
Story and Lee, the Tennessee Valley's most dynamic furniture store, featuring our Made in America galleries with solid wood dining and bedrooms, leather furniture, mattresses, and so much more. You want it? We've got it. With our 3 acres of showroom and our huge warehouse, we're sure to have exactly what you want. And it's all ready to be delivered to your home absolutely free. Just try that anywhere else. We are Story and Lee.
Southern Craft Manufacturing is dedicated to creating the finest quality and greatest value products in the death care industry. Southern Craft has perfected blending old world craftsmanship with modern manufacturing technologies to create a full line of steel, wood, and corrugated caskets. Family owned and operated for over 30 years, Southern Craft is now looking to hire local and regional truck drivers, welders, and production workers, each with great starting pay and a benefits package. For more information, visit SouthernCraftMFG.com.
Are you tired of missing out on family life just to be treated like another truck number? Since 1986, Southeast Cares has been a family-operated business based in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Being family-owned ourselves, we understand the importance of family, which is why we value it above all else. With our large number of dedicated lanes and our friendly staff, we are able to evenly divide your home time with the amount of time you spend on the road. We offer multiple benefits with large company pay, all while keeping a small company environment. For more information, visit our website at southeastcarriers.com or check us out on Instagram and Facebook.
Hayden Burks goes the distance for local sports on the X Sports Network.
And welcome back to the Hayden Burks Show here on the X Sports Network. As Michael, as we're here for our main topic. I was going to do a little bit of NBA, but I mean, dude, there's just so much to talk about in the NFL. So let's just get right into it. We'll start with our hometown team, my favorite team, I guess. My favorite team. I've got so much to say about Tennessee, but I ain't going to do it. But the Titans decide to fire Mike Vrabel. I'll let you start with your thoughts.
See, I'm going to say this is perfect for me to talk about because I'm not a Titans fan. I'm not like a Titans hater or anything. I'm just not the biggest NFL guy. I mean, I'm kind of like AJ. I kind of like the 49ers. But, well, that's neither here nor there.
I'm still trying to find my team. I'm leaning towards Detroit just because Hendon Hooker's there. I'm a big Dan Campbell guy. I like what they got going on. They got Aiden Hutchinson. They got Gibbs, the running back. I really liked him in Alabama, even though I'm not an Alabama fan. So
yeah, I would say, but they're good in the NFL.
Yeah,
so we can kind of be.
Yeah, I'll root for an NFL team that's got some Alabama fans.
But yeah, I mean, firing Mike Vrabel. I mean, Taylor Lewan said it best. I think he was on the Rich Eisen show when that news was being broken, and just a terrible. I mean, he wasn't the problem.
He's too good of a coach to get fired.
I would say because they fired him, and every team that needed a coach just put a big grin on their face because they're about to get a really good coach.
Well,
if you look at the top, they went 6-11 with the worst roster in the NFL by far.
Didn't they have like the 27th best offensive line?
Something like that. I mean, Derrick Henry.
They were probably 32nd, but yeah, he still finished second.
Second rushing yards behind Christian McCaffrey, who was running behind probably the best offensive line in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mike Vrabel is a good coach. He took a team that was led by Ryan Tannehill to an AFC Championship game where they had a 3-score lead against the Kansas City Chiefs, who ended up winning the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, they were hot at that time. The year after that, they were the first seed.
And
they lost to
Baltimore.
Not Baltimore.
It was Baltimore.
I thought they lost to the Bengals on that field goal.
It may have been that one.
Yeah. Because I remember they beat Baltimore when Baltimore was the 1 seed. They beat them when Tennessee was the 4 seed.
Yep.
Or the 3. I think they were the 4 seed. That's whenever they beat Baltimore, went to play in the next round, then got beat. Who was it they beat them that? Yeah, I don't remember. Anyways, the year they were the first seed.
You just said it a minute ago. The Titans were the 1 seed at one point. That was when I know I was a freshman in college because I was at there was a basketball game that night, and I remember there was a bunch of people wearing Bengals stuff in Thompson Bowling Arena, and I'm just like, I mean, I was a fan of Joe Burrow.
Well, that was the year Joe Burrow took them to the Super Bowl as well.
Exactly.
So they beat Kansas City in the AFC Championship game.
But I think the Titans are in a really dark spot right now because they're at a point where they had a really good coach, they had no players, and now they don't have a coach. They still don't have players. Who wants to take that job?
Well, nobody wants that job. I mean, it's Nashville. The only thing,
Nashville's the only appeal to that job right now.
But here's the biggest issue. In my opinion, I don't know what the contract stipulations were about firing or trading coaches. I haven't really researched trading coaches. I don't
they
know
said something
much
about trading Vrabel, and I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing. I don't know if it's a buyout or what. Anyways, we'll start with Vrabel first. Vrabel, he's too good of a coach not to be a head coach somewhere in the NFL. That's why I have an issue with that. I thought New England was going to pick him up, but New England just picked up
Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo.
Which I think is a home run hire, by the way.
Absolutely. He was a defensive lineman for Tennessee, and then he went to the NFL. He played in the NFL
played for Belichick.
Yeah, he played for Belichick.
He knows what's expected of the Patriots, and I think he's going to bring a very youthful but similar to Belichick-esque, but like a different way of delivering the message, I guess. But his youth and the kind of the way he's going to be able to relate to these players, I think the Patriots are in a kind of like a similar spot to the Texans were in. They're going to have a really high pick. They're going to have a chance to draft a young quarterback.
Drake May more than likely, it seems like.
Him or Caleb Williams or, even Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels might actually be the guy now.
I think he might be the guy. What did he go from 14 to 6 in the latest mock draft?
I've seen him up to 3.
To 3?
But I also saw a mock draft last year where Hendon Hooker was at 5, but we won't talk about that.
Well, that was before.
That was before the ACL.
That was before the ACL. But anyways, back to Vrabel, though. Vrabel is too good of a coach not to get a job. I thought he was going to New England. That
maybe
didn't
Atlanta?
happen. Huh? What's that?
Atlanta, maybe?
Well, I've heard Belichick might be going to Atlanta.
That's
from what I've read and heard from ESPN that Adam Scheffler reported that, and just other Twitter accounts I've looked at, there's 2 teams right now that are highly interested in Bill Belichick, and they're both in the NFC South. The Saints and the Falcons.
I've heard Buccaneers, too.
The Buccaneers, possibly. I don't know if they'll fire their coach. They just made the divisional.
Yeah.
They won their division. They're in the playoffs. They're going to be playing Philadelphia, which I think that might be a game Tampa Bay can win.
Watch out.
I think Philadelphia, and that might be a coach that might be on the hot seat if they lose in the first round.
So we can get to that one.
We talked about before the show, I don't know if Vrabel's going to get a job just right now, but obviously he will be a coach. But I think some of these playoff teams are going to wait to see what happens. Like, I don't know if Mike McCarthy's on the hot seat, but if they lose to the Packers, he might be out the door.
Yeah, I about to say that seat's going to go from cool to hot real quick if they lose to the Packers.
Yeah, I think
the Cowboys. I'm pretty sure they haven't won or haven't won many playoff games since they won the Super Bowl in '94.
Yeah, I don't know how many games, but obviously,
if they've even won one.
Yeah,
because I remember they always get to the playoffs and then choke first round.
Philadelphia's coach, he'll be. If they lose, he's definitely on the hot seat, in my opinion.
He might be out. I think
he might be out the door.
I think he's out the door.
Yeah, he might. He's either he's on the edge of the hot seat, or he's out the door, like you said.
Because what they lost 5 or 6.
5 of the last 6 games. Yeah, so that's an issue there. But Vrabel, the best places I could see Vrabel that he could win a Super Bowl next season would probably be Philly.
Look at their defense.
Yeah, defensively, and that's what he was. He was a defensive guy. He knows how to get the guys going. He can put that dog in Jalen Hurts, which is he's been terrible this year. Well, the second half of the season. He started off good, and it felt like after that Cowboys and San Francisco loss, they just fell off the edge of the cliff. But
I think Seattle might be another good landing spot for him. They still have a good roster.
They
were just outside the playoff. They, for some reason decided to. I don't know. Did he retire or did they fire Pete Carroll?
They fired Pete Carroll. Now, they did tell him he can be in a executive position.
He's gonna.
But why would you do see? That's to me that's disrespectful in my opinion. Just because you fired me, but hey,
Pete Carroll's a tremendous coach. I get he might not be everybody's favorite because he's always been places where nobody likes him. Seattle, he wasn't everybody's biggest fan.
He kind of reminds me of Doc Rivers of the NBA.
Yeah, nobody liked him when he was at USC, but he won a couple national championships. Coached up a couple Heisman winners. Give Reggie his Heisman back, but won a Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks of all teams.
Yeah.
Made the Legion of Boom. Pete Carroll's a great coach, and I hope his career's not over. I hope he can go somewhere and maybe. I get he's 72 years old, but go somewhere and get a couple more years out of him.
Well, that's what we've been noticing, like with all these coaches that have been fired lately, especially the big 3 names, Carroll, and then we'll talk about the other 2 later. Mm-hmm. They're in their later ages, so obviously they're not going to, Belichick will not be there long term for wherever he goes to. Mm-hmm. But they were talking about on Get Up Greeny and all the crew, Ryan Clark, they were talking about Belichick can go in and establish a culture, and that way somebody else can build off of.
Exactly. Just let one of his many disciples kind of come in and. Well, actually, I'm not sure if that's a good idea because we've seen what most of those guys have done. Josh McDaniel, not very good. Matt Patricia, also not very good. But build a culture, let some young guy come in and kind of, solidify that and see where a team can go. Because, look at what Bill Belichick turned the Patriots into. 6 championships in 24 years.
Well,
he had Tom Brady.
We can argue that, but I think that's the that's the monkey on the back that Bill Belichick is. I mean, I don't think he cares. I don't really think Bill Belichick. He's got the resume.
He's got 6 rings. Who
Yeah,
cares
he's got 6 rings, but obviously people are going to ask the question. Okay, well, Tom Brady left and went to Tampa Bay and won Super Bowl. Yeah. So was it Tom Brady or was it Bill Belichick? So that's the only monkey Bill Belichick. In my opinion, he's got to get off his back. Of course, then again, he probably doesn't care. I wouldn't care if I did what he did, 6 Super Bowls. Me personally, like I said, I wouldn't care.
No.
So obviously that's the Belichick side of it, but I don't know where Vrabel goes, to be honest. I really don't. That he can go win just right then. I mean, he's too good of a coach where somebody's not going to say, okay, we want that.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
because I've also heard some speculations, you remember when the Titans were the 1 seed that one year, you know who their offensive coordinator was? It was Arthur Smith.
I hope
they could team up and go somewhere, and that immediately turns into
that could do something,
contender.
absolutely. And I read this, and I hope it doesn't happen. I could care less just because I'm not really a Titans fan right now, unless they do something that just blows me out of the water. But I read something on local Tennessee news saying that Arthur Smith was going to Tennessee. I hope not. I hope.
Well,
not.
the thing is, we don't have any superstars that he can underutilize. So because I mean, you look at the Atlanta, they had Kyle Pitts, one of the best tight ends in the I think one of the most talented.
He never used him.
But never used him. Never used Bijan Robinson. Mm-mm. When he played, his numbers were great, but they never played him.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the talent, but they're stuck with Desmond Ridder.
Yeah. So. Well, I mean, he looked promising at the start, and obviously
so did Will Levis.
Yeah, Will Levis. Yeah, that I don't even want to talk about that. Right. Well, I guess we got to. So we don't know where Vrabel's going. We're gonna have to wait a little bit, in my opinion, just because none of these teams that fired their coaches, like the Chargers, the Raiders, the Seahawks, the Panthers. I don't see Vrabel going to.
But
I think it's going to be.
There's still a couple of days. Jim Harbaugh's name is still in every single one of those West Coast teams.
I think there's 2 spots Harbaugh's going to go to. It's going to be LA or who?
Vegas.
Yeah, or Vegas. I think, he's going to go to Vegas. Did I say Oakland or did I say?
They're still Oakland and San Diego.
I still call them the Oakland Raiders. I got to get over that. But I know people that are Oakland fans probably, or the Raiders fans probably wouldn't like that. But I think they would probably see
most of the real Raiders fans
would still consider them the Oakland Raiders. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, but
and the Chargers being in LA just feels weird. Yeah. For a while it felt like there were like 5 teams in LA. After there was none. But
yeah. So I mean, I think Harbaugh will be like one of those 2 teams, either the Chargers or the Raiders. So, Vrabel, I think he'll be with one of the playoff teams. We'll just have to see where that goes. So we'll move on for Vrabel. Let's talk about where the Titans go from here now. Obviously, it was the controlling owner, Amy Adams' decision. Of course, we know when it comes to an organization, you just hire a new general manager, Ron, what's his name?
Rand Carthen.
Rand Carthen, yeah. I always want to say Rand Catherine, but it's Rand Carthen. But, it's hard, in my opinion, that to bring in a general manager when you already had a head coach, because obviously, in my opinion, it needs to be vice versa.
They didn't involve Mike Vrabel in the hiring of Rand Carthen.
Yeah.
They kind of just brought him in. So there's already kind of like a divider between those two. And Rand Carthen's a little higher up on the totem pole. He's, I want my coach. And maybe they found that maybe he knows who his coach is.
Well, but it was his first year, and I wouldn't put him over the totem pole. I know organization-wise he might be, but, the way I look at it, controlling owner, GM and head coach right there side by side, in my opinion. I don't think they should have fired Vrabel. Then again,
I don't think any normal Titans fan thinks that either.
I think it was on the way that he might be out the door, but I didn't expect a firing. I expected a mutual parting agreement, just like the Belichick situation.
Exactly, but I mean, nobody fires Bill Belichick.
Nobody fires Bill Belichick.
Robert Kraft's not that stupid.
No, that was a parting ways, but. Amy Adams, she decides to pull the trigger. Obviously, with that being said, number one, that it's rebuild time, and number 2, basically, if you had anything to do with Vrabel, you're out the door. Henry, we know he's gone. Tannehill, he's gone. He's out the door. They trade away Byard. He's out the door.
I'm going to say any bright spots the Titans had 2 or 3 years ago, gone.
They're gone. Any Titans guys. Probably the 3 guys, in my opinion, are absolutely safe. Will Levis, Hopkins, and Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah.
Those are probably the big three names.
I think Levis and Simmons are your building blocks for each side
Both
of the ball.
sides, yeah. I mean, then again, we talked about during break. I'm not a big Will Levis fan. I still don't think he really has it.
And then so the one thing, I was kind of hopping up, like I was mad when they drafted him. I'm not mad that he went to Kentucky and I'm a Tennessee fan.
No, yeah,
I'm
no,
mad
it's not that.
I'm mad that he was bad at Kentucky and they wasted, the 30th pick on him when Hendon Hooker was still on the board, who we haven't seen in the NFL yet. I understand that, but I think
Hendon Hooker,
I think he has a more as a potential brighter future than Will Levis.
Hendon Hooker,
and then Will, right when I was growing up to him here later in the season when he started, getting that starting role and started winning some games, he had the audacity to come out and say, oh, there's a bunch of guys, I don't want you to hop on my hype train. All these Tennessee fans that don't like me because I was at Kentucky. We didn't dislike you because you were at Kentucky. We disliked you because you were at Kentucky and weren't good at Kentucky. You lost to Vanderbilt your last year in college. So did Anthony Richardson, and I think he's going to have a good career in the NFL. But
I think he'll have a good career. Back to the Will Levis thing, though. He threw 3 picks against Tennessee. The final score of that game was what?
44-6, and they scored those 6 points on the first drive.
On the first drive. I can't remember who the running back was, but he got in there, and then it just...
They missed an extra point, and it was downhill from there. He had
2 of those picks were Levis's fault. One of them wasn't his fault because whenever they were in the red zone, he got clobbered. He got blown up.
Yeah.
But
and that was, he threw, I think he threw for 84 yards in that game. I was there, and so was apparently Connor Stallions, so. That was the best. Listen, if Tennessee played like they did against Kentucky the rest of that year, they win the national championship.
Obviously, there's a reason, and that reason was shown on draft day because he was still in the green room on day 2 when everybody expected him to be a top 10 pick. I know a bunch of people lost money.
There were some. He came out and said like a day or 2 before the draft that he felt confident that he was going to be the number 1 pick. Listen, I get Bryce Young hasn't had the best year ever, but there's
then,
only so delusional you can be.
Look where Bryce Young is though. Like he's in Carolina.
I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, I would want out of Carolina right now. Just because they don't have a general manager right now, they don't have a head coach. In my opinion, I know he got fined, but that video with the owner
throwing the drink on
the Jacksonville fan. Was it Jacksonville or was it Dolphins fan? I knew it was a Miami Florida team. Anyways, I'm surprised they didn't make him do something, but
relinquish ownership.
Well, I know you really can't do that, but I thought they should have probably came down a little bit heavier on him than they did. What was it, like 250? I don't even know it was that low. I can't remember. It wasn't too awfully
that
bad.
dude though, because listen, you may think of Carolina Panthers. He's like the 5th most valuable richest owner in the NFL. $250K is pocket change to that dude. Now I get that would be a really nice annual salary.
Probably the cheapest thing too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd take that as an annual salary anytime.
Yeah, because if you don't want to buy into your product, but obviously.
That's a problem with ownership across all major sports.
Well, that was desperate. That was being desperate on Carolina's side. They wanted to make a big bang after Sam Darnold didn't work out, and then they brought in Baker Mayfield, that issue right there, and then who was the receiver they traded away?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. He's at Chicago now.
He had a great year in Chicago.
He did have
with Justin Fields as his quarterback.
Yeah, and that's
saying something.
Yeah, that's saying something. Well, I think Justin Fields is the man. I really do. I think
Caleb Williams is going to go to the Bears. Which is going to be a Justin Fields 2.0.
While I was in here before the show started, I got to thinking the Bears situation kind of reminds me of the Draft Day movie.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched that?
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner.
Yep. That was a great movie. But anyways, obviously the Titans, I don't know where they go. They got the 7th pick. In my notes, there's 4 guys I'm mainly looking to get with the 7th pick. One of them more than likely ain't going to be there. Mm-hmm. If he's there, you got to take him. The mock draft, we're just going to say no trades right now. Chicago's got 1. Washington's got 2. Patriots 3. Cardinals 4. Chargers 5. 6 is the Giants, and 7 is the Titans. So, obviously, more than likely, Caleb Williams is going to go number 1. In my opinion, I think Washington will jump up from 2 to 1. Get that.
Yep.
They'll take Williams. Number 2 will probably be Chicago. They'll take Marvin Harrison. That's the guy I'm saying. If he's there, I know he ain't. Tennessee might take a jump. I don't think they will. They'll probably fall and stay. Well, they'll probably stick at 7.
That'd be a great pickup.
That would be a great pickup. I don't think he'll be there, but if not, there's 3 other guys I'm thinking.
But during one of our breaks, Washington receiver Roma Dunze declared for the draft, which everybody knew that would happen. That's a guy you could pick up probably round 2 or 3.
You probably could. I mean, he's in that range of where Tennessee's going to be, but obviously, if that guy ain't there, then don't look at that position because you've got other issues. And here's the other guys I've got. Yeah, Joe Alt, Notre Dame.
That'd be a great guy.
They got him
build an offensive line.
They've got him number 5 to the Chargers.
Because that could be another Jack Conklin, Taylor Lewan type of guy, just a Big Ten guy that can block anybody. Because, I mean, he was a bright spot on a Notre Dame offense that had a potential to get very stagnant this year.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, he had Audric Estime running. I think he averaged 6.5 yards a carry this year, playing the toughest schedule as they did. That's incredible.
Absolutely. And well, I mean, last year Tennessee, with the 10th pick last year, they took the offensive tackle from Northwestern University, and
I think
he had a solid year.
Rookie.
Rookie. He's a rookie. So, I mean, I think that's our biggest issue right now. Obviously, offensively, just everywhere is our issue. Running back's going to be, well, I don't know. They got Spears, the kid from Tulane, so I like him. I think he'll be
another guy, though.
Well, we need a backup guy. I think he can be a number 1 for now. I don't think he'll be the stud like Henry was, because obviously Henry's out the door. Henry, I see going Philly, Detroit, just a big name like that. He might not be the number 1 guy. He might be a number 2 guy behind somebody else, but
he would take the number 1 spot in Philly from DeAndre Swift.
He probably would. Now, one place I think would be perfect for him. We talked about the show, Buffalo.
Yeah,
Buffalo.
Right now, all they have. I'm saying all they have.
James Cook, he finished with what? 4th in total rushing yards. I don't have the number, but I know he was 4th or 5th in total rushing yards.
He's a really good fantasy running back. I'll just say that.
Offensive line is legit for Buffalo. The offense, they got Stephon Diggs still, and Josh Allen.
Hey, when you get in the red zone and you don't want Josh Allen to throw another pick, you can let him.
It's going to have, Buffalo needs to consider that because Josh Allen is going to help his turnover issues. He can hand the ball over to James Cook more, and then if you got Henry in the 4th quarter, when all things, seem like, oh, we ain't got to worry about James Cook. Got the monster behind me, Derrick Henry, that's going to stiff arm you, make you look like an idiot on
He's
ESPN
done that
the
to
next
Bills.
morning. Yeah. Norman.
Yeah,
he did
Josh
that.
Norman.
I remember that.
Dribbled him on a Thursday night.
Yeah. Shoved him in the head.
Yeah.
He did that to somebody else in Detroit, too.
Yeah, it was a linebacker.
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago, but it wasn't like Norman. I mean, he threw Norman to the sideline.
Dribbled him.
Anyways.
I mean, he dribbled a grown man.
Yeah. But back to that pick, though. Notre Dame's offensive tackle, Joe Alt.
It's a good pick.
I'm going to try my best. Alumia Fashuna from Penn State. Yeah, the Penn State offensive tackle.
That's a big guy.
He's a big guy. They got him going to 4 to Arizona. And then the J.C.
Latham from Bama.
Latham from Bama. They've got him going 6 to Alabama.
Well.
So I don't know who they got Tennessee going right now.
Take an offensive lineman. Just whatever the best. If one of those 3
One
guys
of those 3 is going to be
him.
there. Because obviously mock drafts, they're not going to mean anything. They're just predictions. I mean, everybody had Will Levis going 6. He fell to the 2nd round. You never know. Tennessee last year, I thought they should have took the Johnson kid from TCU. But obviously, he's not having the best time.
I was about to say, lucky we didn't.
Yeah, lucky he didn't end up in Tennessee because he's been terrible for the Chargers.
Last year, I mean, other than Puka Nacua really coming out of nowhere, there wasn't a very good receiver class last year.
There really wasn't.
And I don't think it's, other than Marvin Harrison, I don't think it's very good this year.
Other than the Washington. Well,
yeah,
LSU got the
Neighbors
guy. Yeah, so I mean, it'll be okay from that point.
It's not a top-heavy one, though.
It's not top-heavy, but obviously, back to the coaching side for Tennessee, I don't know, man. I really don't. Who's going to be that guy?
The names are the Lions offensive coordinator and the Texans offensive coordinator. I mean, both of those offenses were very good this year. I don't see.
But I don't want you to bring in. Well, we talked about before the show. I've heard reports. The controlling owner, Amy Adams and Ron Carthon, have said it multiple times that their guy is on the list. He's open, and we're not going to let him pass up. Somebody's out there. Whether it's Harbaugh, Belichick, who else is out there?
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll's out there. Somebody's available that they want. Or one of the offensive coordinators from Detroit, Brian
Johnson.
Brian Johnson, yeah, and then the I don't know the name for the Texans guy, He did so well with I haven't.
But, I mean,
I found that out yesterday. So I mean,
CJ Stroud looked incredible, and that.
Hopefully,
we'll get to talk about the Texans here in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get to talk about
games.
the Texans a little bit, but I mean, I don't know who would fit that role. I want somebody to come in. I would like, if I were the Titans, if I ran the Titans organization, I'd go for Belichick.
Yeah.
I would go for Belichick at this point because
build the culture.
Build the culture, exactly. Build the culture. Of course, I don't know if that's Ron's guy or if that's Amy's person.
Well, you got to realize Carthen was I don't know if he was the GM or the assistant GM in San Francisco.
Yeah, he was with that organization.
Some San Francisco ties, and I mean Kyle Shanahan's coaching tree. You know, we see what Mike McDaniels has done in Miami. I mean, bring in the next Mike McDaniels. You know, bring in like a quarterback coach from.
I mean, you could though, but I look at it this standpoint. If you bring in Belichick, you can establish a culture. The new stadium will be in Tennessee in 2026. Or 2026?
I think it's 26.
Yeah, 2026.
28, something like that.
28. By the time Belichick's done, because he's not going to go another 10 years. I'm max
He's got
5. Yeah, max 5. By the time that 5 years is up, Belichick gets his time done. He builds a culture, gets a good team coming in, kind of like Detroit. Dan Campbell took over. They struggled. They went 3-13-1 his first season.
They started off his second season 1-7.
Yeah.
Now they finished 8-9, I think it was.
Yeah,
but
8-9, 9-8, something like that. They
missed the playoffs by one game.
They could have been in the playoffs, but a game earlier that was decided eliminated them. So they were just playing football.
And see, the thing was, is they played the Packers that night, and the Packers, if they won, were going to make the playoffs.
You are right.
And then they beat the Packers.
They did beat the Packers and knocked Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay at the same time. So, I mean, a bunch is going on. I think Tennessee, I don't know where they go. I've said that numerous times.
I think they're at a – I mean, they could surprise us.
Yeah, we'll be surprised in a little bit because, I mean, it's going to happen soon. It's not like another issue that's going on with other teams. So
yeah. Let's talk about the real interesting one, though.
Yeah, it's not interesting yet. We'll have to wait because they're going to have to hire somebody before the draft starts. So, you know, where's Tennessee go? I don't know. I don't know where they go. Where's Vrabel go? I think he'll be with one of those playoff teams.
I would say he's going to go to a playoff team that fires their coach.
Yeah, that fires our coach.
After this weekend.
Yeah, so moving on, we'll talk to the college side. Nick Saban, the Tennessee nightmare is over. We talked about, we're not going to talk about that much here. We talked about a lot on the show. So, Michael, as a Tennessee fan, I've already shared my thoughts. Dusty, I'm sure, is still crying about it. But, hey, did you hear his take about Urban Meyer becoming the next coach of Alabama? What he'd do?
Burn all of his Alabama gear and put on some orange. And you know what, Dusty? I'll buy it for you. I'll buy the orange for you.
Yeah, Hey, yeah. But we're going to start a GoFundMe, Kevin. That's what we need to do. We're going to start a GoFundMe for Urban Meyer.
Dusty Kaiser's new orange closet.
Yep, new orange closet. We need to get a whole show for his house. Like, yeah, here's my closet, here's my Tennessee man cave we got going on. But hey, we'll get off his back about that. Nick Saban retired. Obviously, we're not going to deny this though. He's the GOAT.
He's the greatest college coach of all time.
Yeah.
But funny enough, I read something the other day that Bear Bryant, Gene Stallings, and Nick Saban all lost their final game in Neyland Stadium.
At Needham Stadium, yeah, I did see that. My mom sent that to me on text. I couldn't believe that was unreal. But
and hey, I got to see Tennessee beat Nick Saban. So
yeah, I got to see it on TV at the house, which was I had a party going on at my house, a watch party for that game. Dude, we went insane.
Hey, listen, I mean, congratulations on Nick Saban's great career. You know, I mean the whole thing came out of nowhere. I was sitting on the couch Wednesday afternoon, I decided to click on Twitter, and it said like 8 seconds ago from Chris Lowe. I mean, yeah.
Here you go, Dusty. That's what I'm going to get you for your birthday whenever it comes. I'm going to leave that right there for the time being.
I saw Chris Lowe tweet and said Alabama Nick Saban has decided to retire. And I was
okay.
Like, what? And then I scrolled down, saw it again, turned the TV back on, put it on the Paul Feinbaum show, and they had, I guess, it was pretty much a memorial for him, even though he's not dead. But
I mean, it seems like he's dead from all they've done with the statue out front and everybody putting all the thank you stuff. And
now that we've had a couple of days though to think about it, who is your projection for next head coach at the University of Alabama?
I was going to say Oregon's coach, but I thought he would have been the greatest fit for it because he's a GA at Alabama.
Because three of I would say that personally, their three top guys have all either signed new deals or put out a video that said they're staying. So Dan Lanning, Steve Sarkisian, and Mike Norvell. And Norvell just signed a new deal extension, within the last 20 minutes. So I think you're down to either Kalen DeBoer, Glenn Schumann, or Dabo Swinney.
I don't think Dabo's going to go. That would.
And that's a crazy payout.
Yeah, it's a crazy payout, no doubt. Like, he would get big bucks out of it. But I think eventually, we talked about it on the show on Wednesday, Lane Kiffin's going to end up in Alabama one day before it's
because
all said
I think
and
there
done.
may be a dude like Mike Loxley or something like that, some smaller head coach that has connections to Alabama that kind of comes in and is the rebound man and goes 8-4, goes 7-5, gets fired, and then you bring in the next guy. Because following up Nick Saban is a death wish.
Absolutely. Well, we've seen it on multiple occasions. Duke with Coach K.
I think John Shire's done.
He's done
a
great job. Of course, it's not Coach K though. But I mean, it's something to be excited for the future. But no, I agree with you, and that's what we've all talked about that this whole week. We would hate to be the guy to replace the guy. I don't know if it's not one of these.
Funny enough, we had this discussion this summer because we had speculations on this show or on the Exports Live that this might be Saban's last year.
I didn't think it was going to happen this year.
I didn't either. I mean, we can talk about it every year.
I told Dusty and I got talking about it. I thought before he retired, he was going to go get that last one. I'm going to go all in.
What we talked about is we thought he would go out, kind of riding off in the sunset with the championship. But talking about this year, this was his best coaching job he had done at Alabama.
Absolutely.
I
saw this team going 9-3.
I think this may have been him saying, this was the best I could do. Because he talked in the interview with Reese Davis yesterday that this year took so much out of him. I think this was kind of his riding off into the sunset, even though it didn't end the way everybody in Alabama wanted it to end.
Kind of reminded me of the Coach Carter. Type of feel. That's how it reminded me. Of course, I mean, everybody was thinking, and I was thinking at first. I mean, it. Like you said, riding off to the sunset. This team had so many questions around them. There was a bunch of people 24/7. Preseason polls for quarterback for the SEC had Jalen Milroe last. And obviously he's going to be number one this
And listen,
year.
at week 1, week 2, he probably was the worst quarterback in the SEC.
He got benched against South Florida, and they were down 3-0 at halftime against South Florida. And
they put in future lacrosse star Tyler Buckner in that game. I mean, that was a
boy.
I saw that and thought, wow, Alabama.
They look rough.
Ugh.
That's when we all kind of thought, yep, it's over with. The dynasty's over with, but. I mean, the dynasty is over with now, the Saban-era dynasty. But, I mean, we talked about this a few weeks ago. You know where it all changed? Halftime Tennessee.
The halftime of the Tennessee game.
Halftime Tennessee. So, I mean, I talked to one of my buddies that's on the basketball team. He's from Alabama, and he's an Alabama fan that with this – he's happy.
That doesn't happen.
He's happy with this season. He's very happy with this season. With all the questions going in, Milroe, is he that guy going 11-1 with this group that he had, making the college football playoffs, winning the SEC championship, beating Georgia and stopping them from three-peating in the national championship? That's a special year.
I'm also 90% confident that Jalen Milroe will not be the starting quarterback at Alabama next year. I think he'll still be there, or he might hit the portal if he. I don't think he'll be the starter next year.
Well, I mean, it depends on.
Because I think whatever coach.
It depends on what coach comes in.
Whatever coach is going to bring their quarterback with them.
Well, okay, we'll jump to coaches real quick. Alabama got to hurry up. Well, what I've read on Twitter from articles that it's a done deal already. They've got their guy ready to go.
But it's going to shock some people.
It's going to shock some people. Is it a guy we're expecting? Because everybody's expecting a former guy that's been on Saban's staff.
Yep. I mean, I
don't want to make a joke out of this, but I'm going to.
Go with it.
Butch Jones.
Hey.
Jeremy Pruitt.
Derek Dooley.
Hey,
listen, we went through 15 years of pain. Why can't they?
Yeah, that's what Clint said. Yeah, welcome to the bus. And Dusty, I mean, as soon as we came in, as soon as he showed up, Kevin was playing Rocky Top, and the first thing Dusty said was, "Man, now I know what it feels like to be a Tennessee fan."
Yeah.
It's rough. But I mean,
hey, listen, I'm just saying, Lane Kiffin started, Tennessee's 15 years of pain. He started USC's, I mean, they're still kind of going through it. Bring him to Alabama.
That's because Caleb Williams and having the star quarterback like they are and struggling.
They've had a 5-star quarterback every year for like the past 2 decades.
They just have a terrible defense and a terrible coaching staff, in my opinion. That's just me. But back to the coaching side, I mean,
speaking of USC, I've heard Lincoln Riley's name also in the mix, or Cliff Kingsbury.
I don't think Lincoln will go there. That's just me. I think Lincoln, he's got to have a supporting cast around him, in my opinion, when it comes to coaching staff and just having guys in general to help him out. But I've read, people have been talking about it. This is not a take from me. Deion's name has been floating around at Alabama job, and the stars kind of align. Aflac commercial.
That Aflac connection, man.
That Aflac commercial. He and Saban have a good relationship, and I know we talked about this before the show started. Saban's not just going to let them bring in somebody. He's going to help them maintain that culture and say, okay, this is a guy that I think would be really good. They're going to make sure he's involved with
you
that,
know who I think
hire.
would be a perfect hire for Alabama, but it's never going to happen? D'Amico Ryans. Played at Alabama. He had such a good year in Houston that I think makes him a great candidate for the Alabama job, but also means he's not going to
I read that I was watching Paul Weinbaum's show last night. They said he's beloved in Alabama.
Yes.
And so
what he's done this year with Houston proves he can coach.
Yeah, absolutely. With that team that they struggled with, but I mean, I don't. They got to hurry up, as Dusty said, because they already lost the wide receiver 5-star the day of when Saban retired. He already decommitted.
And there's some talk that Caleb Downs, their 5-star safety that's already there, played a year. He's going to
hit the portal.
He's been talking around.
Yeah,
not saying he's going to leave, but that kid was.
They got to hurry, and I think that's why they've already. We've read. I don't know if you've seen anything.
That they would have a coach within 72 hours.
Yeah, they've already got it made. They've already got the decision done. I'm sure it was privately done. That way, nothing can be speculated. Obviously, the speculations were previous coaches and people just bringing up names. But, I mean,
now Alabama fans are doing what Tennessee fans do for fun and tracking planes. Seeing
who goes where.
Who's flying into Tuscaloosa.
Well, I think that's why everybody decided to do all that social media stuff with Dan Lanning saying, I'm not going anywhere. And then Washington's coach, you said earlier that he posted something saying
he was supposed
to
be on a radio show in Seattle this morning and postponed about an hour before.
Well, I know Lane Kiffin, he did something where I don't know if he deleted a post or.
Lane Kiffin's always doing something.
Yeah, he's always doing something. Of course, then again, everybody wants Lane Kiffin in Alabama. Alabama fans want Lane Kiffin in Alabama.
I think Lane Kiffin wants Lane Kiffin to be at Alabama.
Yeah, as Clint said, your savior has arrived. Give me that team and I'll win you national championship.
I think he would.
But I want Jimbo's money, as Clint would say. I want Jimbo's money to do it. So Alabama could write that check, and I don't know if they're going to give Lane that check. But, I mean, we'll just have to see about that. But obviously, who knows? Alabama will obviously have something by the time next week to talk about when it comes to that job, because more than likely that job will be announced.
I think our next show we're going to have a new head coach for the Titans, a new head coach. Well, we already have a new head coach for the Patriots and a new head coach for the. I think we'll have a landing spot for Bill Belichick, and I think we'll have a new head coach at Alabama.
Yeah. So obviously, speaking of the Patriots, we'll talk about that. Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. They decided to mutually part ways, and I think we all kind of saw it coming this year. They struggled a lot. They struggled last year, and then with the issues with the roster with Mac Jones and Bill Belichick not seeing eye to eye, Mac Jones being benched for Bailey Zappi. You know, Bailey's not that guy long term, in my opinion. He's a good quarterback. He's not the long term answer for a guy. They're obviously more than likely, in my opinion, going to take Drake May with the 3rd pick, restart. But hey, we talked about it. Gerard Mayo. I think he's that guy. He's been with the staff with a long time. He's been with the staff since 2019 on the defensive side. He was a defensive linebacker for New England from 2008 to 2015. He was a Tennessee guy. So there's a
5 to 07.
Yep, there's a plus right there. So, I mean, obviously.
Because, he was a name that was thrown in before we hired Heupel. It's like, hey, let's get Gerard Mayo. And I'm sitting here thinking he's never been a head coach. I don't like that, but,
Well, I think both parties kind of like that, though. I'm happy with.
I'm on the hype train.
I'm happy
with
I'm
on the hype train till that sucker crashes.
Yeah, well, that sucker could have crashed because I read something that Heupel had interest going to Alabama.
No.
And I would have lost
Not
it.
a chance.
I would have lost it if that would have happened. But, I mean, obviously, New England, I woke up at like, I can't remember when the news broke, 6:30 a.m.
I'd say it was about 7 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, well, I got a notification like 6:30 from ESPN.
I'm
sure
it was probably 7. Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll go
I'm sure
7
they
o'clock.
met. Yeah, well, Eastern time, so obviously they met at a different time zone. But I wasn't shocked. Obviously, he doesn't have much in the tank. Well, there's nothing left for him to do in New England. That's my opinion for that. So, you know, Belichick, obviously the GOAT in NFL coaching, in my opinion. He's got 6 Super Bowl rings. You know, he had Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback, obviously. He's got that on his side. I don't know, it sounded like a fly over there. I don't know what that was, a notification, a fly. We got something going on here. Kevin's got, Kevin's our fly, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But
hey, listen, you know, the quote he had to open his press conference was the greatest thing ever. You know, he stood up there and said, "Man, we haven't seen this many cameras since we signed Tebow."
Yeah, for real.
Tebow got a kick out of that. He like retweeted a video or something. But listen, I mean, I think this is an interesting time for sports, football mainly, just, you know, from college.
Off season's the best time of the year.
But this one is so much bigger than other ones because you had Saban retiring, you got Bill Belichick leaving, you got Pete Carroll getting fired. I mean, we're going to have a new. It's kind of like a new era coming in.
It's Greeny and Ryan Clark and the crew were talking about on Get Up. It's the era of the new young head coach are coming in. So it's
I think that's very fair because you look at some of the best coaches in the NFL right now; they're young guys. You know, I don't want to hate on Nick Sirianni because he's almost on a hot seat. He's a young guy.
He's a young
guy.
guy.
Got it to a Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan Campbell, he's a young guy, doing a great job.
Yeah. I mean, he took a Detroit team that looked like they were looking to
D'Amico.
sell the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
D'Amico doing a great job. And then you go to college, Dan Lanning, incredibly young.
Yeah.
You got Lane Kiffin, who's still a young guy.
Yeah.
Steve Sarkisian. I mean,
Heupel's a young guy, too.
Heupel's really young. I mean, there's a ton of young guys that are still doing great things for the sport. Kirby Smart's not that old.
Yeah, no.
I
He's
mean,
still got a lot in the tank, too.
Exactly.
So, I mean, he's obviously going to be the new Nick Saban when it comes to college football.
Well, I've heard some things that he's also interviewed for the Falcons job. Don't know why he would do that, but.
I mean.
I've heard there are some guys trying to leave.
The only thing who hasn't
of the whole NIL and stuff like that.
Well, that's a downfall of college football, and that's going to trickle down to high school one day. But that's another story for another time. But going back to Kirby,
sponsored by Hardee's.
Yeah, going back to Kirby though, he's done everything there is for Georgia, SEC championship, 2-time national championship. Undefeated season. What was it? 29 games.
They won 29 in a row.
29 straight games in a row until they lost to Alabama in the SEC championship this year. He's done everything there is to except dominate and be a powerhouse like Nick Saban did for Alabama.
Yeah.
That's the only thing Kirby hadn't done yet. So, I mean, if he wants to do that, that's the only thing he's got to do. Could he go to the NFL right now? Absolutely. I'm sure he'll probably be
sought after.
Yeah, sought after like Harbaugh is right now. And, I mean, both those guys could be
Because
NFL
one thing I
quarterbacks.
didn't realize is how much
Or,
money NFL
head
coaches
coaches.
make compared to college coaches. The highest paid college coach is around $10 million a year. That's like middle to bottom tier NFL. Top tier NFL guys are making like 15 to 18 mil a year.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's crazy.
It's wild. New England's got it figured out. Bill Belichick, we don't know yet. I'm sure. Same thing with Rabel. Playoff teams might bring him in, or just one of these teams that are looking to establish a culture will do that. So we'll jump to.
But hey, football's going to look a lot different next year.
It's going to look a lot different. So we'll jump to playoffs now since we're talking about it. Michael, it's the Hayden Burks Show picks for the first week of that wild card week. I've already got Sam since he wasn't going to be here.
Okay.
He's probably going to be our full-time guy. We'll talk about his for a little bit.
Kevin for stepping in today, though.
Yeah, thank you,
the real
Kevin. We
professional.
appreciate. Yeah, we got the real producer extraordinaire. We'll start with the start of wild card week. Number 5 Browns, 11-6, go to the Houston Texans. Number 4, 10-7. Michael, who you got?
I had the Browns because I'm so high on. Don't write it down yet. Because I was
I'm
really,
ready.
I would say, I'm going to do my not so fast, my friend. You know, I watched C.J. Stroud on the Pat McAfee show Monday, of the national championship, and Boston.
Boy,
Connor
he seemed
was
confident.
Man, he sat there and said, "Hey, nobody's got y'all," and he goes, "Oh, nobody thinks we're going? Cool.
No.
Put me down for Houston."
You got the Texans. All right.
Because everybody wants to see Joe Flacco go play the Ravens again. It's going to be C.J. Stroud going up there.
I mean, I don't know who it was for Cleveland, but there was a report that one of their big-time players got injured on the defensive side. So that's
Myles
a big
Garrett's
issue.
out. That's
it's not
huge.
Miles. I don't think it's Miles, but it's another one of those big names. But still, I mean, they're going to be playing at Texans. That place is going to be
Listen,
rocking.
NRG Stadium is incredibly loud.
Yeah.
That place is crazy.
I mean, Sam took the Texans, and I'm going to go with y'all. I got the Texans this upcoming week. So.
All right, well, mark down Cleveland for a win.
Yeah, I'm about to say, somebody's going to come out. We all went Texans across the board. Anyways, moving on, I think we all kind of know about this one. Number 6 Dolphins go to Kansas City, where it's going to be -4 degrees. It's going to feel like -27 degrees, and wind gusts are going to be up to 30 miles per hour. Sam took the Chiefs. Michael, who you got?
Yeah, the Dolphins are going to go back to Miami in an ice cube. Give me the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, yeah, I agree there. I mean, obviously,
If you put it on a nice 50-degree day in Kansas City, that'd be a toss-up. I may even go Miami, but they've looked so bad.
They're 0-10
recently.
when Tua's 0-10 when he's playing in 4-degree lower weather.
Yeah, I mean, they're injured. They haven't looked good lately. They don't play good in cold weather.
I don't think there's going to be many points scored either way, though. Miami's.
I think one possession is going to, I think a touchdown will win that game. I'm not saying 7 points is going to win the game, but I think there's going to be so many field goals that a touchdown.
I don't even know if there'll be many field goals because you talked about earlier, they're going to be kicking a rock, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know if many field goals, extra points will be made, but I don't think field goals like a 40-yard field goal, it ain't going nowhere.
Big Ten fans, tune in Sunday. That's going to be a good one.
Absolutely. So moving on, last AFC game, number 7 Steelers at number 2 Bills.
Yeah, Buffalo.
We all know. Yep, Bills.
With TJ Watt out, even if he was playing, I wouldn't.
TJ Watt is out. I don't know why Steeler fans are so hyped up about Mason Rudolph. There's some realists, but Mason Rudolph
look
is
better
not.
than Pickett and Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I mean
that didn't take much.
Steelers are in the middle. You want to be at the top or the bottom, and I think rebuild's coming. I don't know what they're going to do with Tomlin. He might sit out a year and then go somewhere else, like Sean Payton did from New Orleans to Denver now. So I don't know. That's going to be a toss-up. But hey, we've all got the same pick so far in the AFC. So we'll just have to see. Number 7 Packers at number 2 Cowboys. Who you taking, Michael?
I'm taking Green Bay for the singular fact
taking
that
the Packers.
The Cowboys haven't proved they can win a playoff game in my lifetime. So.
Well,
until they do that, I'm going to pick against
Sam
them.
took the Packers. You took the Packers. I'm going to take the Cowboys just because I want to see them get beat, and I want to see the hopes get so high. I'm not a Cowboys hater.
And go straight down.
Yeah. I want that train to get up, so I'm going to take the Cowboys. Plus, it's going to be in Dallas too. I think that stadium is obviously going to be electric.
I mean, I watched them play San Francisco. I think it was 2 years ago. They haven't proved they can win a big game yet.
They're not. Of course, then again, who did they play? Well, it was San Francisco they played at Dallas that one year when San Francisco was the 4th or 5th seed, something. I think maybe the 6th
Dak
seed.
ran the ball with 12 seconds left.
Yeah.
No timeouts.
Yeah, and
not
just,
in field goal range.
Yep. I don't know, but I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'll root for them this week. Number 6 Rams at number 3 Lions. Matthew Stafford
has the chance to do the funniest thing ever. Everyone in Detroit loves the dude because I mean he was the only bright spot they had, and then they left and they bring in Jared Goff, and now
they traded.
It's like let's bring in Matthew Stafford coming back in.
Both quarterbacks got something to prove.
He has the chance to kind of
seal the deal. It's going to be in Detroit too.
Really, just take the hearts out of every Detroit fan. But
I know Detroit's going to be rocking.
Jared Goff has a lot to prove too because you're sitting there. It's like, Detroit lost this trade. You got rid of me because you didn't want me. Mm-hmm. Give me a Super Bowl.
I'm a Lions guy. That's me right now.
Yeah, but I love Dan Campbell. Give me Detroit.
Give me Detroit right here. Me and you both. We'll go all the way. Sam took the Lions as well. So, I mean, obviously, week to week we're going to keep up with records. So we'll see how we did next week. And the final game of Wild Card Week, number 5 Eagles at number 4 Bucks. Who you taking, Michael?
Man, it's hard to
pick. That's the one. I think that's the upset game. That one and the Cowboys and the Packers. Those are the two upset games.
Based on seeding, it's not really an upset. But
Tampa Bay's been playing good.
Tampa Bay's been playing good. Philadelphia's been playing bad. But give me the Eagles.
Give me the Eagles.
I think they're going to bounce back. I think everybody's a little too high on the Baker Mayfield train. I love the guy. I'm a huge Baker Mayfield guy since he's been in the NFL. Didn't really like him at Oklahoma, but man, I mean, it's hard to pick against Philly in the playoffs.
It is hard to pick against Philly.
They're like the opposite of the Cowboys. They're usually kind of mediocre during the regular season. They turn up in the postseason, and the Cowboys are usually really good during the regular season and kind of fall off the.
I think they got a good chance. Obviously, they're 11-5. They've lost 5 of their last 6, but they've got Jalen Hurts. They've got a good defensive line. They got a good offense with Smith. and A.J. Brown, former Tennessee Titan. They've got a good coach. Even though he's on the hot seat, they got a good coach. So
I think Nick Sirianni is coaching for his job. I think he's going to pull out all the stops. So.
Yeah, so obviously I think they've got something good going on. But give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks this week, baby.
Listen, that was a toss-up for me. That was a coin flip, but I'm going to go with Philly.
Yeah, I am taking the Bucks this week. So, all right, well, I'm going to go with Texans, Chiefs, Bills, Cowboys, Lions, Bucks. Michael, you're going to go with Texans, Chiefs, Bills, Packers, Lions, and Eagles. Sam's going to take the Texans, Chiefs, Bills, Packers, Lions, and Eagles. So you and Sam had the same lineup. I was the only one that kind of went off the board there. So, well, that's going to do it for...
Maybe Sam's a smart guy.
He might be. I don't know. I don't know if he's that smart, but we'll see.
He's played more football than I have.
Well, yeah, same here. I haven't even played football unless it's Madden. Of course, I'm not even good at that. So, well, that or the new college football game. So, well, coming up next here on the Hayden Burks Show, it's going to be our final segment. It's going to be the Q&A segment, so don't forget to send in your live questions as me and Michael will look to answer those questions here on the Exports Network.
At Smith Tax and Business Service, we offer many services. Along with personal income tax prep, we also offer tax preparation for corporations and partnerships. If you're a small business and looking for some extra help, give us a shout and we'll get you fixed up. Call Mary Beth Smith, Marion Matthews, Brooklyn Bates, or Michelle Staggs to find out how we can help you. Located at 208 Pulaski Street, phone 931-244-6633.
Head on over to Shaw Southeast Distributing in Lawrenceburg to find everything you need for your home, business, or fundraiser. To make life easier, Shaw Southeast Distributing now accepts EBT cards. Have a concession stand, food truck, or just your kitchen at home? Leave it to Shaw to fill your shelves with ease. Shaw Southeast Distributing delivers. Family owned and operated. Phone 931-762-7760. Follow us on Facebook or visit us at 1603 Ripke Avenue in Lawrenceburg.
Don't just find a job, find a career with Resource MFG. The team at Resource MFG in Lawrenceburg has the resources and experience to find you a full or part-time position right away. Now recruiting for open positions in Lawrence, Giles, and Murray counties. Whether you're entering the workforce for the first time or looking to take your career to the next level, let your journey begin with Resource MFG. Located at 300 Ellingson Street in Lawrenceburg. Phone 931-570-2111 to jumpstart your career today.
Renwright Equipment has all the tools you need to get the job done. From bobcats to trenchers to augers to lifts, we have a large variety of equipment for every project, big or small. Need a new mower? We have you covered there too. With great brands Hustler and Big Dog, Renwright is ready to serve all your equipment needs. Call today and reserve your equipment from Renwright Equipment in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
There are now more ways to save at Quick Mart. Become a Quick Club member and easily earn rewards on qualifying purchases at Quick Mart convenience stores using the Quick Club app, available in the Apple App Store and Google Play. To save on fuel for work, use the Fuel Rewards Pro app to earn 5 cents a gallon on work fill-ups and redeem the savings for yourself. To get started, visit fuelrewards.com/pro or download the app in the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Do you ever worry about having too much in the garage? What about where you're going to put the mower or your ATV? Or better yet, your mother-in-law? Look no further than Quality Storage Buildings located right next door to Flat Rock Cheese and More on the Minor Hill Highway in Pulaski, Tennessee. There you'll find the answer to your need in a compact or spacious metal building. Built by hand right at Flat Rock by some of the finest craftsmen around, there's a perfect building for everyone, including economy, utility, cabin, lofted or garage models, and even an animal shelter line. Buy or rent to own, see the different models at Flat Rock or on North Main Street in Ardmore and on Highway 43 South in Dunn. Call today 931-363-3603 or 931-201-2205.
Hayden Burks goes the distance for local sports on the X Sports Network.
And welcome back to the Hayden Burks Show as we're here for the final segment of the Hayden Burks Show here on the X Sports Network. Michael, this is the Q&A segment, and I know you got one on YouTube, so go ahead and let's hear what they got to say.
All right, from Rugby Llama, any thoughts on maybe Pete Carroll coming back to a college team, maybe Alabama? I don't think he would go to Alabama. I don't think he would go to the SEC. Pete Carroll's a West Coast guy. It kind of unfortunate that the Pac-12 is not a thing anymore. But, I mean, look, he could stay in Seattle with the chance of Kalen DeBoer going to Alabama.
That's what I was finna say. If he goes to Alabama,
He just got to drive down the road.
he just got to drive down the road.
Now, and the thing is, he'd have his work cut out for him because Washington, you're losing Penix. You're losing, I think your running back's gone. You're losing 2 of your 3 receivers. You're losing you're losing your a bunch of your Joe Moore award-winning offensive linemen. You're losing some defensive players. You got a lot to build up. Get Pete Carroll in there for a couple of years, kind of build something up maybe. I mean, I don't think it's too outrageous to look at. I don't think the chances are very high though. Yeah. It's a possibility. Anything's a possibility, but I don't think the chances are very high.
I don't see Carroll doing what
because he did so well at USC. For the 8 to 10 years he was there, but I'm just not sure if going back to college is the best for him at his age, because the college has changed so much since the last time he coached. He changed. College football has changed since the last time he coached in college ball. There's NIL. It's legal to pay recruits now. I mean, it'd be hard for him to really do anything. So I don't think it's completely impossible. I think it's a chance, though.
Yeah. My mic wasn't on, by the way, so anybody that wanted to hear what I had to say, you didn't get to hear it. So if you want to...
Hayden did not think it was a possibility.
Yeah, no. I had no say in it because I don't think he's going to go back to college. I think they said Bama. I don't think he's going to go back to Bama, or he's going to go to Bama. Washington, I could see, but like I said, I don't think he's going back to college. I think he might just... How old is he? 72?
72.
72.
Same age as Nick Saban.
Yeah, I think he'll probably end up retiring because I don't see. This is me. He might. I don't know. I don't see somebody getting fired as a head coach and then say, "Oh, well, we can put you in an executive position." I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's more of like a fancy word for retire, but he's not ready to go yet.
Yeah, no. I mean,
fire you from head coach, maybe do a different job.
Yeah, I think he'll just hang up the whistle. So on that one. So. Anyways, next question. It's going to be Carter Henson. Titans going for the Georgia tight end, Brock Bowers. I like it.
I mean, there's not a reason not to like it. I mean, Bowers is coming off of a high ankle sprain that he suffered this last year. It slowed him down a little bit in college, but, I mean, you give anybody enough time to come back from that, they'll be at full strength. And he even came back and looked pretty good at the end of the year for Georgia, despite them not making the playoffs. I mean, he's such a versatile weapon, and the Titans have had so many good tight ends in the past. John O. Smith, Delaney Walker, Jared Cook, guys like that.
But they've not had a consistent, just tight end. I mean, they had Austin Hooper a few years ago that was at Cleveland. Now he was at Tennessee. Then he was gone. I don't remember who the new one is. A Capoose? I don't know.
Okongwu.
Yeah. I don't know, but we know. Yeah. Sorry if you're a big time Titans fan and you're getting mad at us. We don't know the names. Then again, I don't watch the Titans anymore just because.
I don't think Titans fans know the names anymore.
Yeah, I mean, after the A.J. Brown trade, I'm not a Titans fan. So, and then other things.
I think Brock Bowers
the biggest
would be
thing.
I
think it'd be a great pickup, but I don't think that's what they need. That's not like I said. I think there's some obviously if he's there, Marvin Harris. And if he's not there, then you got to take one of those 3 offensive tackles that we named, the one from Notre Dame, the one from Penn State, and the final one from Alabama, J.C. Latham.
Because I feel like they're at a point now where they need to build up the big guys and then kind of let the other skill positions fall in. Because listen, you can get good receivers, good running backs, good tight ends and stuff like that.
A.J. Brown, the second round.
Later in the draft.
Yeah.
I mean.
Never know. There might be a diamond in the rough somewhere back there. Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Tom Brady, he might be.
A glaring, just
you never
diamond
know.
in the rough right there.
But I think Brock Bowers would be a good pick if they decide to go that route.
I think he's going to be in the
I think he'll be
late teens.
Yeah, he'll be.
I think it's going to be like a playoff team picking up a tight end.
Yeah, because I mean,
someone that doesn't need a lot of pieces.
Yeah. Well, it might be a team where they have a good tight end. I'm not saying Kansas City's going to do it, but I'm saying like if there's a team that has a good tight end that he's older, you want to get a guy that's younger, maybe to kind of come in and do it. Say if Gronk was still in the league and he was still at Tampa. And,
that's a perfect example.
Yeah, Gronk's would be near retirement, and then he can come in, kind of fill Brock Bowers in, hey, the ins and outs. So I don't see the Titans doing it. I think it'd be a good pick for them, a good start somewhere, but I don't think that's their biggest need. So,
well, I think when it comes to like most draft picks, hindsight's really 20/20.
Yeah, so
because you could say, "Oh, that looks like a great pick," and he doesn't do much for the Titans, then we ship him off to somewhere else. You're like, "Gosh, what a waste of a pick."
Yeah, and then we got our final question here. It's going to be Oregon's coach could be Alabama's pick. I don't see that after the social media post. I mean, it makes sense. We talked about it. Dan Lanning, GA for Alabama, went to be a defensive assistant coach for Georgia. Was it something like that?
Grad assistant. Defense.
Grad assistant. Yeah.
Oh, he was the DC at Georgia.
Yeah, he was the defensive coordinator at Georgia. He was a GA at Alabama. So I mean, the stars aligned for him to go to Alabama. But I mean, for what he did for Oregon this year, taking Bo Nix, a Heisman candidate, and them being the sixth, one of the first two out in the college football playoffs. I mean, I wouldn't want to leave Oregon, especially.
I think there were 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7, something like that. But I mean, there's no reason for him to, because he's building a culture there. Yeah. So.
And I saw one more question on YouTube real quick. Do we see Auburn making a big jump with Hugh Freeze now that Nick Saban's gone? Listen, I think the reason... I don't think that really matters. I think they brought in Hugh Freeze to beat Nick Saban because he proved he had done it at Ole Miss. I think now that he's gone, that hire doesn't look as smart. I think Hugh Freeze is a great coach, but I'm not... Auburn's kind of in a tough spot right now. They're doing a really good job on the recruiting trail. I feel like that's a kind of check back in 2 years.
Yeah, check back in 2. Now, do I think they can beat Alabama this upcoming season, the years after that? Absolutely.
I think anybody can beat Alabama next year.
Anybody can beat Alabama next year. It just depends on who they bring in.
Because, you look at all these teams that had either beaten Nick Saban once or never beaten them, like Mississippi State, Arkansas, stuff like that. I'm not exactly sure who all is on Alabama's schedule and who's not next year. Their first SEC test is at home against, Georgia.
Yeah, so we'll just...
but we'll I think everybody's kind of got that monkey off their back, so to speak. When Nick Saban being gone, I don't think anybody's going to be scared of Alabama next year.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't either.
I don't think Alabama's going to be a bad team next year, but I don't think anybody's going to be scared of them.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't blame you. So, well, that'll be it for our Q&A segment here on the Exports Network for the Hayden Burks Show. Michael, appreciate you coming in. I know next week you're going to have to join on...
I'll be here next week.
Oh, you will be here next week? So I got you at the studio.
Show. Yeah.
Well, will you be able to do them on Zoom after that?
Yes, after that I will.
At least I won't be talking by myself. So
no, I wouldn't leave you hanging like that.
Yeah, no, it's hard talking sports by yourself for an hour and 30 minutes. Or if we get to talking, it might be 2 hours, 3 hours.
Who knows?
Maybe 4 hours, Kevin. Not 4 hours.
No,
we're not going to do 4 hours. We're not going to do 4 hours. Anyways, that will do it for the Hayden Burks Show. My name's Hayden Burks, joined by my co-host, Michael Marks. Appreciate him coming on. And our temporary producer extraordinaire, Kevin Wright. And we will be here at 11 a.m. for the Hayden Burks Show next week here on the Exports Network. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.